Hello everyone, hello my friends, and welcome back to Meerkat Musings. We are now on to, what is the date today? It is the 30th of April. We are at the end of April, and we've spent pretty much the entire month of April in this lockdown, and we're going to begin May still in lockdown. So we've now overcome a whole month of this thing and would have endured more than that by the time it's finally over. Now, there are some rumbles in the news that we might be bringing this to an end a bit sooner than we thought, or at least maybe being to relax restrictions, but then there's other talk about how this is a bad idea, and so the long and short is we still don't really know what's going to happen next. So it's all still a little bit up in the air, and we just have to try and get through it as best we can. Now, for me personally, this has been through continuing to do my story, which is now actually officially the longest story that I've written. It's passing one of my previous things by about 3,000 words so far, and it's not finished. I still feel there's more I can do, more places to go with this particular story. I don't feel it's reached a conclusion by any means as yet, even though the other day it hit a major milestone, as it were, in terms of the story and some of the events, things that have been building, finally kind of reached a critical point in that story. So it was nice to reach that milestone, and the next milestone, I know what it is, I just need to figure out how to get there. But I've been enjoying writing this. It feels like for the first time in a long time that I've got a definitive beginning, middle and end, I guess, to this thing in my head, and a confidence, I guess, to actually put it to paper or type it out, as it were. And having a new laptop has made that a lot easier, by the way, rather than using the phone to write it, because it's not so easy on a phone to try and do this kind of thing. I've done my best, but having the laptop back naturally makes things a lot easier. So that's quite pleasing. And I've been doing some more artwork. I actually have up here one example of this, which is on the website. It's on my DeviantArt page. But just for you guys, there you go. I don't know if you can see that very well. That is the first 5 Doctors from Doctor Who in the form of meerkats, and obviously Timon the meerkat from The Lion King there. So yeah, admire it. Okay, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know where these come from. They just pop into my brain and I scribble them down. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about some other ideas picture-wise, and one thing occurred to me last night. Timon is obviously one half of a rather famous Disney double act, being, of course, the Timon half of Timon and Pumbaa. And I've never really tried to draw Pumbaa. Funny, I don't know why, I just haven't. And it occurs to me, maybe I should give that a try. After all, he is part of this double act. They are a team, as it were, and while Timon is obviously the character I gravitate to, it's impossible to not love Pumbaa. He's always very cheerful. He's kind of the voice of reason sometimes. He puts up with a lot from Timon, and just, he's just a nice guy, isn't he, really, I guess. So maybe I should try and draw the double act, as it were. We'll see. We'll see. Nothing is set in stone with that one. Dreams again. So lately, for reasons I don't fully understand, I've been dreaming about my senior school days, and at various points of senior school as well, being kind of the earlier stages, but also the later stages as well, and hanging out with people that I didn't really hang out with, to be fair. There weren't people I didn't get on with, but they weren't close friends either. But nonetheless, kind of spending a lot of time with people that, as I say, I wouldn't normally have spent time with whilst at school. So a bit weird, and I'm not sure why these streams keep recurring, but there you go. Although last night's stream involved, I think I was actually in the game Half-Life 2, and I was running around shooting people, and in particular I was blowing their heads off. So it's quite a graphic dream. Don't know why that popped into my head, but there you go. And then, interestingly enough, within that dream, there was a bit of Mario Maker mechanics thrown in for good measure, so it was very strange. But there you go. My subconscious continues in this weird time to do weird and wonderful things. It occurs to me that when I go back to work, I'm going to be somewhat rusty with some of the systems and procedures, as I think we all will. So that's going to be interesting for the first few days after going back, as and when that finally happens. So some stuff to be done there. And when we do finally get back to some kind of normal, although it won't be the normal that we were used to, I think it will be a bit of a shock for a lot of us to get back into some of the old routines that we used to have. I mean, kids, when they go back to school, a lot of them, I imagine, haven't been getting up quite so early as they were used to get ready for school, and they haven't had to worry about puffing around with school uniforms and this, that and the other. And inevitably, I think for a lot of us, just because it is tougher, homeschooling won't be as robust, I guess, as actual school. For a lot of kids, it will be a shock to the system to go back. For a lot of us, going back to work will feel strange. As much as we want to, as much as I want to, it'll feel very odd, I think, for the first few days, perhaps even the first few weeks. And I think people won't be coming out to shop to begin with anyway. I think there'll be a quiet spell for a lot of businesses in the immediate kind of aftermath of the lockdown. You never know. Maybe there won't be. Maybe people that have got plans and projects will be keen to get them started and crack on straight away. But I'd be surprised by that. I'd be very surprised by that. So what else is going on? I'm kind of, and I've actually written about this on the website, I've kind of been exploring cooking a little bit. Not majorly. I mean, no more, I suppose, than... Well, I've been cooking more, but what I've been cooking this post hasn't really been too different to the stuff that we've normally done. One of my tricks, I guess, is to basically take some ingredients, throw them in a frying pan, add stock or whatever to do like a sauce, and see what happens, really. But I have also bunged a few things in the oven. Did some roasted veg the other night with some stuff that was quite different. I like to use herbs, spices, and things like that to try and add some flavour to what I'm doing. But the other day, I made a banoffee pie, just to be different. My mum makes really good banoffee pies. One of my cousins also makes good banoffee pies. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm going to try this. How complicated can it really be? Not to diss my mum or my cousin's efforts, because, they make really, really nice ones, as I say. But I've always kind of, I guess, for things like that, put a block in my head, thinking that I can't do these things. And it turns out that I can. And I'm actually quite pleased with what I made. And I dare say, it actually tasted quite nice. I know, it's hard to believe, but it actually did. So now that's actually been frozen, what's left of it, because otherwise I'll eat the whole thing in a couple of days. I made one that's basically, I think, technically for 8 people, but in my house, I think I'm going to be the only person to actually eat it. And left to my own devices, without a bit of restraint, I would eat the equivalent of an 8-person banoffee pie in a day or two, which probably wouldn't be a smart move. It would be absolutely amazing, but it's not a good idea. I mean, I had 2 slices, big slices, and I felt it after that, to be fair. So a bit of restraint, as tough as it is needed from time to time. And now I'm thinking about going back to the freezer and defrosting it. No, won't do it, not yet. What else is happening? Well, now we've got a new laptop. One of the things that I can do, or one of the things I will try to do, is actually edit these videos a little bit. So you may actually see with this video, you may actually see on your screen a picture of said banoffee pie. Among other things, you may see other things like intro cards, etc., etc. bottom line is, I don't know at the time of doing this video if that's going to happen, but you, the viewer watching it, might actually see a little bit more flair, a little bit more razzmatazz. I don't know. It's something I want to try and do. And given that, you know, in this situation, we have got some time on our hands to learn things, it's a good time to learn. So it'll be something that I'll do over the next sort of few days, is maybe record and then edit videos and take it from there. What I want to try and do as well, but unfortunately my setup doesn't do it properly for some reason because of a sound issue, is record more of my Mario Maker gameplay sessions. But unfortunately, the sound from I think it's the gadget itself, the sound is just really, really poor. I went cheap and cheerful for this thing off Amazon. I don't even know if I can say what brand it is really. It's like Goobang. I know that sounds weird, right? Goobang. It was, as I say, cheap and cheerful on Amazon, and it worked fine to begin with. But now, although it records the video fine, the audio is all crackly and distorted, and there is a slot for a microphone, but there's no point in trying to record anything over the footage because that will be distorted as well, which is a bit disappointing. But I can't afford to go out and get one of these fancy Elgato things anytime soon, so I might have to scrub that idea in the short term. And then, as and when, if I end up in a position to get something more powerful, something better, I'll get something better, and we'll see from there how it goes. Is there anything else? Not ready for this video, to be fair. I mean, I've waffled for 12 minutes now, and I think it's time to give you guys a break from that. But as usual, I want to say to everyone, you know, stay safe, look after yourselves. Much love to you and your loved ones, and I will see you again soon.